I'm excited.
Thank you. Well, welcome. Thank you guys for coming today. Today I'm going to explain the difference between 5 different types of coaching. So, first of all, my name is Danny Jones, and we're going to be talking about life coaches, business coaches, team coaches, career coaches, and executive coaches. You're going to find throughout this presentation that there's a lot of similarities between the different types, but really there are some inherent differences. So first of all, life coaching. Something that I do the least of, but life coaching deals with personal development. It sometimes can touch into like family dynamics to help understand yourself a little better. Like I'd probably have somebody do like an Enneagram or a Myers-Briggs or some sort of a personality test so that they can know themselves better. And even though it's life coaching, it still deals with professional development. And so life coaches are very valuable to people who are just kind of stagnant in life and just want to find a place or find out where they are, or they have a goal of some sort. And the next one is going to be business coaching. So business coaching focuses a little more on developing the machine itself. So it's going to take kind of more from the outside to look a little bit more like a business consultant. So somebody will be focusing on getting the processes in place a little more. How does that correlate to the individuals, and how are they able to line up with the vision, the goals, and of the company? And one of the other things a business coach can do is help with a person's efficiency, an individual's efficiency. And so the next one is team coaching. Now, team coaching is kind of a fun one because it's kind of simply summed up to me is just getting people on the same page. So when you here at STN, obviously there's a great need for team coaching, because a lot of times people are like, no, this is my job. No, this is my job. This is what I do. And really it can hinder the moving forward of a machine. If you've ever seen a group of people kayaking or paddling together, if they're all deciding to paddle their own direction, the kayak doesn't go anywhere, or if it does, it just goes in circles. And team coaching can help develop tools and different techniques that are necessary for keeping everybody on the same page. Introducing the idea of team dynamics of how certain people have to lead, certain people have to follow. You can't always have all leaders or all followers. And it also, team coaching can help an individual figure out where they fit in and where they belong. The next one is going to be career coaching. So career coaching is, again, a lot of these are very similar, but career coaching is a little more personalized to an individual for possibly like their career path. So they can already have a job and just be unsure of how they want to get from here to there. Like a corporation could hire a career coach, because like if STN hired a career coach, their purpose would be to meet with you one-on-one and be like, okay, this is where you're at in terms of your position on staff. What are your goals? What are your vision for your life here at STN? And these are the kind of the steps that we'll take to help get you from there to there. Or you could even hire a career coach if you just were like, I don't know what to do with my life, professionally speaking. And the idea behind a career coach is, as well as most coaches, they can be an outside voice. So a career coach can, rather than you being stuck in if you're stuck, sometimes you're in a hole and you can't see past the horizon because the dirt is above you. And so a career coach can come up here and be like, hey, so this is what it looks like right here. If you climb out, we can get over there, The next one is going to be, and the one that I do the most of, which is executive coaching. It's a little unique in the sense that, it's very similar in the sense that it's outside eyes. The coach that you work with is going to be highly trained to do what it is that they do. But in my experience, executive coaches are usually a little more qualified. That's a weird statement because there is no real regulatory commission for coaches. So if you wanted to be a therapist, you have to get licensed in the state of Hawaii or in the state of California or wherever. I don't know what it's like in Sweden and Switzerland, but you have to have a license to practice those things, to be a doctor. A lot of those things actually have licensing or licensure. Coaching right now, it's only been around since about the 80s. So there's organizations that do license people, but it's really kind of still not a huge, like, you need this and you need this if I'm gonna hire you. With that being said, a high-level executive is going to want to see a resume of yours, or just proof that you have some sort of knowledge and you're not just what I like to call Instagram coach, because some of those guys are special. The next thing is that throughout all of the coaching, it's very confidential, but on the level of executive, it's very, very important. The idea of confidentiality is sometimes of the utmost. A lot of times, executive coaches will sign a form that it's a contract that says, I as a coach will not share any information at all, because an executive who's being coached might be sharing very sensitive information, might be sharing, hey, today is a really crappy day because I just found out we have $500,000 in our bank account and that's not going to cover payroll for the next week. So we're screwed right now. But what'll happen is, if that information got out, if it was a publicly traded company, it could just crash. However, just because they're in deep financial trouble doesn't mean that they're not going to get out of it. It's just very important that information stays silent. And so when you're dealing with an executive and work at that level, confidentiality is very important. And again, it's personalized to the individual. So on a comparison, really briefly, executive coaching and other types of coaching, the similarities are all of them are personalized, all of them are one-on-one, barring maybe team coaching. There will be opportunities where the coach will speak to the larger group, but generally speaking, they're speaking directly to a one-on-one individual. Coaching is always relational. So there are coaches out there who, I would call them consultants and not coaches. They'll walk into a room for an hour, like we'd have all the executives in this room at once. Bang, 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 bang. Good, we're finished and done, and they leave. That would be a consultant, in my opinion. A coach would be somebody who, okay, Linnea, let's sit down, let's talk about your day. I want to know what's some of the struggles you're having right now at the office, and then I will personalize my response to you, because that's what's going to make a difference. The way I see it is, you can watch a YouTube video on how to sing, and there's some really great ones out there, but the YouTube video is not going to tell you, no, you're still doing this wrong. And so you may get better, but the level of better that you'll reach if you start developing really bad habits because you don't have someone telling you, you're almost there, but you're doing this part wrong, that can be hugely problematic. And so in the long run, you end up getting yourself in more trouble. So whereas going to executive summits where there's like a big time speaker and all of that, talking to a group of 1,000 people, that's helpful, a coach is able to take all of the different information and personalize it for you. I guess another better example would be if you listen to a sermon and you have an issue with something that the pastor said, and you go talk to the pastor afterward, and it's like, oh, that's totally not the way I received what you said. I misinterpreted it. Because a pastor has to say one sentence to a group of 15 to 1,500 or 15,000 people at once, so he can't sit there and explain every detail of what he says or what she says. So that's what the difference is between a coach and somebody who just comes in and boom, and then heads out. Another feature and characteristic of all coaching to me is it's carrying honesty. So there can't be, you can't be lied to. I can't pretend like, oh yeah, everything's gonna be okay. No, I have to be honest with you. But I'm gonna do it in a caring way. I'm not gonna walk and be like, dude, you're kind of a, you know what, because none of your employees like you because you've got a butthole. But if you actually are a butthole, I'm gonna have to find a way to express concerns that the people that work for you have, or just maybe issues that I've witnessed that maybe these are some areas you really need to work on. So again, it's caring. the last feature that's different than a lot of other consultations or mentorship, if you will, is a coach's job is to draw out the solution from within you. So it's my belief that God created everybody with basically all of the creative knowledge that they'll ever need inside of them, and that's what the Holy Spirit is for. So my job is actually to pull the answer out of you for your own question. So sometimes people are like, well, why did I pay you to do this? Because you didn't give me the answer, I had the answer. And that's actually the best version of coaching, is that in the end you're like, oh, I had the answer the whole time. My job was simply to help you see it. Some of the differences of from executive coaching and other types of coaching is executive coaching is usually a very high level of coaching. Again, you guys working here at Serving the Nations, you don't handle extremely sensitive information. You guys, and please know I don't mean to belittle your job, because I know that you work harder than anybody I know, but you're not operating the whole organization. And so because of that, you would hire me as more of maybe a business coach, or even more of like a life coach for your professional or career coach. The next one is, as I mentioned before, is a high level of credibility. So an executive is very unlikely to be scrolling through his or her Instagram and be like, ooh, this person has 3,000 followers and puts really nice things on their Instagram. I'm gonna ask them to come and work for me. That's not usually how it's gonna go. They're gonna ask for lots of credentials and other things. Another thing is an executive coach might be hired for somebody who's just a high potential employee. So they may not necessarily be an executive, but an executive sees great potential in that person and is like, with some coaching, this person is gonna be one of the leaders of my company. So they would hire an executive coach in that sense. Still, again, very similar to the other types of coaching. So in conclusion, really, there are gonna be similarities in every different type of coaching, no matter what you're looking for, no matter where you're from, there's always going to be similarities. All of the coaching is performance driven, so that way there can actually be a quantifiable result. So we'll set goals, push for the goals, and then once we reach the goals, then we know we're there. My personal preference in coaching is character based. So it is my belief that with executive or any type of coaching, that a person who's desiring to get from point A to point B, typically the process isn't that broken. We're all smart. Everybody knows how to create an accounting file. It's usually, the problem is not with the money, it's probably not in the spreadsheet. It might be, but probably it's the person. And so that's what we do is we deal with a person's character and the way they deal with issues that come up. And one of the things about it is there's no limitation. And what that means is that you're not too stupid or too low on the totem pole or too skinny, fat, funny colored. It doesn't matter. There's no limitation to who can hire a coach, because it's anybody who wants to get from where they are to the next step. And so if you guys want to hire a coach, you just let me know. But with that being said, that's the general flyby, late at night explanation for what the 5 different types of coaching that I'm talking about tonight. There are other types of coaching. One type of coaching that I do is performance coaching. So I'm coaching a woman who's going to the 2020 Olympics, and so we'll do like visualization techniques, because similar thing. Physically, she's fine as an athlete. There's not really much she needs to do. She trains for like 6-7 hours a day. She doesn't have a problem with that. It's all in her head, and just like with being a high-level executive, the skill is probably not the problem, it's the head or the person. So with that being said, I do thank you guys for your time. I know that was a pretty quick blast through, but
No, that's super good.
do you guys have any questions? You don't have to have any questions. I just want to say. Okay, cool. Well, thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.